At this point in time, near the end of 2022, this is probably a good overall starting point for a very budget gaming computer, with the option of upgrading a graphics card down the line. To begin with, I've got the B550M DS3H, which the reason why I like this particular one is it is relatively cheap to get. It's a B550 board with 2 NVMe slots and also 4 RAM slots, so we've got upgradability down the line. Currently at a discounted price, the 5600G. These particular ones, 6 core, 12 threads, integrated graphics, are going to be a good start at least to play some budget esport games, CSGO, Rocket League, Fortnite. I do like the Silverstone AR12 RGB. These particular coolers, I find the mounting system isn't that great. It does use a latch variety of mounting, but ARGB, better than stock cooler, and also relatively cheap. So these I don't mind at all. Also got a NV1 or the SNV1, depending on which particular model you can get at what price. Whatever one of the two would be better, or whatever you can get cheaper is better. Both 500 gig, reasonable amount of storage. Next we got the Viper Steel Patriot RAM, 16 gig, 3600 megahertz. I find that sufficient amount of RAM for now, and it does have the upgradability down the line. It is relatively cheap stuff, so that's why I'm pretty much picking it. Next up, the Gigabyte P650B. Now this particular one, not much to say about it. 650 watt power supply. It will do the job just fine. Granted, Gigabyte did cop a fair bit of hate with their bundled power supplies in the past year, but this one I don't have a drama with. And I'm using the Silverstone Farah H1M Pro case. The Pro case has fans with it that are ARGB, the non-Pro does not. So this particular setup here is what I would go with. And the vast majority of this I can assemble without actually having to put it into the system. So with the B550 motherboard, if you're getting it on a budget, I find, or building it to a budget, you can't really be too picky or choosy. So I find on this particular one, the B550M DS3H is perfectly fine. If you could pick up the B450 DS3H Wi-Fi model, that too would also be pretty good. Also save you about 20 bucks for Wi-Fi. And then the SSD, Kingston I've had good experience with, no real dramas with them. And the performance could be just fine for the price that you're paying, which is pretty much very little. You could potentially put a 1 terabyte one in now if you'd like, but storage seems to be always spiraling down in price. So 500 gig in a budget build should just be fine. Patriot RAM, I came across it on Amazon under a special, under $80 Australian for 16 gig. So USD, that's probably around $60, roughly, give or take. And being you're in a budget build, saving 10-15 bucks on non-RGB RAM, I would say that is the way to go. And the reason why we've gone for the 5600G is purely for the fact that we can save buying a graphics card today and put that money towards one tomorrow. Being that there's a whole bunch of new graphics cards coming out, if we go this now, we'll save a little bit of money, and down the line you could potentially replace this with a, I believe it's a 5600 or 5800X3D with a massive amount of cache. And hopefully by then you've already got a bit of a monster of a graphics card to put in here. But for now, something like this paired with like a 3060, 3070 will do just fine. I have no real quarrels with that at all. It should do it just fine. And the Silverstone AR12, apart from its mounting procedure, which is the latch, which is very AM3, overall I find it just be perfectly adequate. Better than stock, and doesn't look too bad, performs reasonably well for the price that you're paying, which is bugger all. These could be had for as cheap as around $25 Australian, which, considering you can get something like the Snowman, but you're probably almost spending the same amount, and then you're waiting extended time, I think I'd rather go with the locally supplied cooler. But that comes down to a bit of personal choice. There we go. Yeah, the most controversial thing here will be how I apply this thermal paste. Which, no matter how I do it, it's going to be wrong to someone. Personally, I just like the swirl in the middle. I'm going to smush this down, it's going to be fine. Beautiful. Yes, I could smear it out, but just to annoy people, I'll leave it as is. And do make sure you do remove that. And I would like the fan blowing to the back of the case. Put it down like this. Go. We are attached. Next up, power supply and case. Screwdrivers do make good box cutters, as well as group strength. And here we have the Farah H1. ARGB, ARGB, ARGB. Find the case in white, especially with the black border on here. Quite like it actually. Bit of personal preference, there is an all black one. But for the price of these ones, they're relatively cheap. Now I'll get a power supply in there first. Beautiful side panels. Warranty info. Beautiful. Next up, power supply. Now the reason why I haven't put the board in yet is because I need to put the 24 pin through here before I attach the board. Otherwise, it gets a little bit trickier. I'd much rather have a hidden power cable than a power cable running up the length of the board. There, fan. There. This fire goes into here. Beautiful. Next, I'm going to run, if I can find him, Nope. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Where is it? Surely it has to be here. There we go. I want to run him through there. And with him now going through there, I'm happy to put the board in. Also the RGB. I want to feed that through here before I put the board in. Then we'll have to put a couple more risers in there as well. Feed him through here, out of the way. There we go. And along here. What have we got here? Why? What do we got? Manual ARGB controller, spare screws, all fairly useful. I need some of these. One thing I do like is this little doodad here, which is used to take these out and put them in. Especially when you don't have a torque screw or a driver to actually do that with. Next up, I want to see where we're going to line up. 1, 2, another one down here. Go. One down here. That's screwing in better than I was actually expecting it was going to. You get some of the cheaper cases and it just does not want to screw in at all. Next up. 1, 2, going by the space over here. And I'm shooting directly at the top where it says AU. Now I need to put the IO shield in. Which for the sake of video, this is going to be difficult and not really recommended. Luckily the middle screw on here has got a locator screw, or classified as a locator screw. Okay. This screw here should help hold it. There's got a bit of a thread on there where it sticks out a little bit further to go through the board. That's going to help make the board stay there, especially for this particular shot. I line this up. I will need to feed these through. I'll undo it because I want to feed the ARGB through. Or at least I'm expecting I'm going to have to. Delicious sound from a PCB. Go that one there. I feed that through here. There we go. Move this one out of the way. Line it up at the back. And there we go. It is now just loosely sitting there. Not quite, more at the front. Bingo. Time to screw that in. One there. One in the middle. One over here. But I think you guys get the point. Maybe that one's not going in right. There we go. There we go. hidden under here. Go. And I believe 2 more to go. No, my mistake, 3 more. Yeah. Do these. I want to connect up the main board first. The main board headers. Move these out of the way. Power supply out of the way. Undo these. Now I want to sort these. Just be a matter of moving these out of the way and putting them up where I need to. So we got USB. Feeding up. Could go either side here, but I'll go this way. No, actually, up half. Feed it back. And hit it, push on. There we go. One on. Next up, audio. Do it the same way. Go. 2. Yeah, the tricky ones that always screw up people. I'll get my head a bit closer to that. We got reset. Hello. And we go power. Hard drive. Final pin, which is being quite challenging. There we go. Next up, the feed through power. Yeah. Go. And this big one, which is now going to be slightly challenging with that big cooler there. I'm going to pick at it from the top. Where are we? There you go. One connected. next up is the ARGB fans. Luckily, we get one of these included for all the fan headers, which is going to be somewhat useful. The ARGB will all just daisy chain together. And if we connect this up here, get the CPU fan header on. That's it. And then out of the way. If I can get it on. Go. Connected. If I have a bit of a look around, I should be able to hopefully see some other fan headers on here. There we go. I see one down the bottom, right down here. So I feed this through, up, around, and connect. There we go. Next up, we have this on the back side. Now I've got a monstrosity of cables, most of which are pretty well hidden, or at least moved into a more suitable location. These ones here should fit in just down here. Go. Gentle nudge out of the way. Now, I'll use this to connect up the 3 extra fans. So I've got 1, 2. Maybe someone gone. Yeah. 2 and 3. Okay. The rest of this could probably just coil up. Luckily there's plenty of space on this side of the case. There's one good advantage of having a slightly wider case than normal. Go. Now we have some ARGB to connect up. Do note that the CPU fan, or the ARGB and the CPU fan, is slightly different to the rest of it. So I have to put that out of the way. Daisy chain these ones together. Push this one. 1, 2, and 3. This I can feed over and plug in. There we go. I feed this under. Through to here. Plug it in over here. I should make sure that I'm plugging it into the 12 volt. And not the wrong way around. This little arrow on here indicating 12. And if I plug it in this way, we should be good. Pull it back through. From here we have a mostly assembled machine. Not looking too pretty in the back. Back I'm not too concerned about. You don't see that. Some places will have it perfectly cable tied. I'm going with the assumption of you do not see, it does not matter. Now I want to boot it up, do a BIOS update if I have one available, enable XMP. Hopefully from there, a relatively smick looking machine. Lucky for me, we have boot and we have display. Excellent. So from here, I'm going to go Y to reset that. We're going to restart. We're going to get some fan noise. And hopefully from here, we should be starting up and going into the BIOS. Look at my keyboard. Number lock is working. No, number lock is not working. Now we are. Now we're booting. Brilliant. Or are we? No, we're trying to boot. Good old mash of the delete button. There we go. BIOS has been reset. We're running BIOS version 15 point, or just BIOS version 15. Let's see if there's an update. Looking on the website, BIOS version 15. We are current, no need to update. While we're here, I want to enable XMP. Who doesn't like XMP? And where are we? CPU temperature, 26 degrees. Save and exit. Enable XMP, yes. Can't forget resizable bar. Hopefully from here, we will boot up once more. I'm hearing fan noise. Hopefully this board has accepted it. Right now we're looking promising. What I'm going to do off camera is install Windows 11, but for now, let's check it out in what should be its finished state. And here is our budget build, pretty much complete. Nice, simple, cheap, RGB. With the side panel on, looks very nice. I like the contrast between the black and the white. Also, another thing I do like is it's actually clear glass as opposed to all the tinted glass, where you spend a whole bunch of money, buy an expensive case, and you can't actually see really what's inside the computer. So I think for the end of 2022, this is probably one of my favorite budget builds that I can do, or that I've been doing, especially because we've got the option to upgrade the GPU down the line. We have the grunt of the power supply to do that, and also the room to add the card when we do go down that line. Anyway, that will do for today, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.